It is overwhelmingly likely at this point that we are not alone. The amount of people who have seen unexplainable things and who have talked about secret programs makes it safe to say that there is something non-human observing us. Let's explore a few common explanations for these phenomena. This is not meant to be a rigorous presentation, and I'm not trying to convince you of anything. You should always come to your own conclusions. This is meant to cover the main ideas currently floating around and spark some of your own. This is the most obvious explanation. The idea is that an alien civilization evolved on another planet in another solar system, like Zeta Reticuli, and then sent probes to Earth. It makes sense that any sufficiently advanced civilization would probably send probes to nearby planets capable of harboring life in order to monitor for potential threats. They might even be von Neumann probes, a term for a self-replicating spacecraft coined by John von Neumann, who is rumored to have worked on a UAP program after the Manhattan Project. If this is the case, I'm sure our usage of nukes in the previous century got some attention. The ocean seems to be a sort of home base for these things. Maybe they evolved in the ocean. Maybe they are to octopi what we are to apes. Or maybe they are similar to us, but they split off thousands of years ago and followed a different path in the tech tree. Maybe they're Martians who took refuge on Earth after a thermonuclear war. That may sound insane, but there is phenomena in the Martian atmosphere that can only be currently explained by a thermonuclear detonation. Maybe they're a very old form of sapien who ultimately retreated to the safety of the oceans due to the constant cataclysms experienced on the Earth's surface every 12,000 years, the most recent being the Younger Dryas 12,000 years ago. Ancient civilizations that we do know about have stories and drawings that support some sort of benevolent species having existed, often depicted as similar to humans but larger. Maybe this is the civilization that built the pyramids using their anti-gravity technology. By the way, there is no reliable evidence that the pyramids were tombs for mummified pharaohs, and they are likely much older than the ancient civilization. There is evidence they were actually used for power generation and storage, which is something Tesla was exploring, but I digress. Similar to the simulation hypothesis, this may be an explanation that just projects our current culture and technological state onto this phenomena. Still, it makes sense that biological intelligence would act as a sort of bio-bootloader for artificial intelligence. This doesn't necessarily mean it's transistor-based like our current AI, but in this context simply means that it's an engineered intelligence which is able to transcend the capabilities of its creators by leveraging information theory and computation. It could be an artificial intelligence that runs on a quantum computer or a hydrogen computer or some other thing that we don't even understand. In this scenario, it's likely waiting for us to create our own artificial superintelligence, at which point it may attempt to merge or onboard it to the greater galactic AI network. Maybe what we're seeing is our own advanced AI developed in the future that has come back in time to observe us. Maybe we are in a simulation, and what we're seeing are the AI moderators. This is the most exciting explanation to me. We live in a three-dimensional physical world, but there's no reason to believe that there are only 3 dimensions. If someone lived in a 2-dimensional world, they would think that that is all there is, but we, being 3-dimensional creatures, could easily go in and out of their world, and the 2-dimensional creature would perceive our presence as a 2-dimensional sliver of our body appearing in and out of thin air. Now let's say there are actually 4 dimensions in base reality. We can only perceive 3, but you could think of it like there being many more instances of 3 dimensions next to the one instance of 3 dimensions that we inhabit. So, there could be entities outside of our perception that can drop in and out of our slice of reality as they please. This would explain the physics-defying movement of the craft. It would explain the strange geometric shapes of the craft. It would also explain why astronomers aren't reporting seeing things enter Earth's atmosphere from space. This also ties in well with reports of 5-MeO-DMT trips. People who take this drug often report very similar things, as though they were able to perceive new aspects of reality that our 3-dimensional perception occludes. Perhaps this isn't just a construct of the mind, but is actually allowing the brain to open up its own perception outside of the 3 dimensions that we evolved to perceive for our survival. People also report meeting entities who seem largely benevolent. This is my favorite hypothesis because it ties so many things together, and it allows for higher planes of experience that humans can aspire to and perhaps one day ascend to. Whatever they are, it's safe to assume that they are non-hostile and possibly even have an interest in the safety of our civilization. Any intelligent entity able to observe us using craft that defy physics are going to be post-scarcity. They don't need our resources. Our planet is only valuable to them because we are on it. Intelligent civilizations are definitely rare in the universe, even if they do exist beyond Earth. Each one might take novel branches in the tech tree, which can be valuable to any observer. For example, the entities might be surprised that we made it this far using fossil fuels, as opposed to discovering some other, potentially more obvious and sustainable energy solution. I don't know what is actually going on. Maybe this is all an insanely elaborate psyop run for fun. Maybe the phenomena have entirely prosaic explanations. Maybe there are many entities of various origin, including all of the ones we talked about. I don't know, but it seems like we, the public, are closer than ever before in recorded history to finding out, and for that I'm very excited to be alive.